गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gaurangi Bengalurishwara Gaurangi Bengalurishwara Gaurangi Jaya Gaurangi Bengalurishwara Gaurangi Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Nitai Chaitanya Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Nitai Chaitanya Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta De Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Ananta De Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Devo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. मायापुर श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय. मथुरा धाम की जय. द्वारका धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगा माई की जय. यमुना माई की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. तुलसी महारानी की जय. समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. गौर भक्त प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hari Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome for Iskcon Seshadripuram's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are discussing 4th chapter, 7th canto, 6th verse. The chapter is entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. I will read the translation. I will also share it. Was Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 7th chapter, 6th verse. Maitreya uvacha tada sarvani bhutani shrutva midustamoditam paritustatmabhistata sadhu sadviti atabruvan. Maitreya uvacha tada sarvani bhutani shrutva midustamoditam paritustatmabhistata sadhu sadvi iti atabruvan. Maitreya uvacha tada sarvani bhutani shrutva midustamoditam paritustat sadhu sadviti atabhruvan. Synonyms: Maitreya, the sage Maitreya, Uvacha said, Tada at that time, Sarvani all, Bhutani personalities, Shrutva after hearing, Midustama the best of the Benedictors, Lord Shiva, Uditam spoken by, Paritushta being satisfied, Atmabihi by heart and soul, Tata my dear Vidura, Sadhu Sadhu, well done, Iti, thus, Ata Abruvan, as we have said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great sage Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the Benedictors. Purport. In this verse, Lord Shiva is described as Midustama, the best of the Benedictors. He is also known as Ashutosha, which indicates that he is very quickly satisfied and very quickly angered. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that less intelligent persons go to the demigods for material benedictions. In this connection, people generally go to Lord Shiva. And because he is always quickly satisfied and gives benedictions to his devotees without consideration, he is called Midustama, or the best of the Benedictors. Materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profit, but they are also serious about spiritual profit. But they are not serious about spiritual profit. Materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profit, but they are not serious about spiritual profit. Sometimes, of course, it so happens that Lord Shiva becomes the best benedictor in spiritual life. It is said that once a poor Brahmana worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction, and Lord Shiva advised the devotee to go to see Sanatana Goswami. The devotee went to Sanatana Goswami and informed him that Lord Shiva had advised him to seek out the best benediction from him, Sanatana. Sanatana had a touchstone with him, which he kept with the garbage. On the request of the poor Brahmana, Sanatana Goswami gave him the touchstone, and the Brahmana was very happy to have it. He now could get as much gold as he desired simply by touching the touchstone to iron. But after he left Sanatana, he thought, if a touchstone is the best benediction, why has Sanatana Goswami kept it with the garbage? He therefore returned and asked Sanatana Goswami, Sir, if this is the best benediction, why did you keep it with the garbage? Sanatana Goswami then informed him, actually, this is not the best benediction, but are you prepared to take the best benediction from me? The Brahmana said, Yes, sir. Lord Shiva had sent me to you for the best benediction. Then Sanatana Goswami asked him to throw the touchstone in the water nearby and then come back. The poor Brahmana did so. And when he returned, Sanatana Goswami initiated him with the Hare Krishna mantra. Thus, by the benediction of Lord Shiva, the Brahmana got the association of the best devotee of Lord Krishna and was thus initiated in the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitapsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinde Vaneshwari Rishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, a little bit of a background. So, this chapter is called The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. So, as a prelude, there is a lot of disturbance in the earlier sections where, the situation became that Sati had to sort of commit suicide, right? Burn herself up in the fire by her own will. That is because of the offense that her father Daksha did for her husband, that she felt it is better not to have this body which was given by Daksha, who is offensive to the greatest Vaishnava, Lord Shiva. And therefore she decided, I will give up this body. I don't want this body given by this offensive person. So she left the body. And as a result, naturally, Lord Shiva, who's equal generally to all situation on all people, still as a part of the Leela, he got very angry that Sati had left her body like this. In fact, he knew this. It is not like Lord Shiva did not know. In fact, he cautioned her before she left that the situation is not going to change and you are going to be in trouble by doing this. But she, out of her womanly affection, the very very tender women, they are generally very emotional, and she said yes, but still I will try. I will try. After all, they are my father, they are my parents, and I will go and give it a try. So she was very merciful that had they accommodated, had they actually repented their offenses, then by her mercy, Lord Shiva, offense to Lord Shiva could have been actually avoided. But her father Daksha was so haughty that that he thought he is better than everybody else. This mad elephant offense against a Vaishnava. So that became too much in his head, that because of which the situation became very bad, that she said, okay, now I don't even want the body given by you, and she left the body. So post that, Lord Shiva comes, and Lord Shiva wages a kind of a war with the Daksha and his entire entourage, which included a lot of these demigods, and headed by the chief priest of Daksha, Bhrigu. So the Lord cursed, I don't know, I mean, whatever, he actually gave them punishment, which was pretty bad. Actually, if you would have seen in the previous verses, some of them lost their ability to chew. and some of them lost their arm, some of their hand, and all of that. And like this. So Brigumuni, everybody were given some severe so-called punishment, because it is not real punishment. Because in the previous verse, it is also discussed, previous verse, it was also discussed that Lord Shiva, sometimes when there is a punishment, we need to understand what that punishment is, from which perspective. Is it looked from the perspective of an enemy, or is it looked at it from the perspective of a parental care? So, for example, if it is an enemy, that a person is actually an enemy to the other person, and the punishment meted out will be to actually trouble the person. That will be to give, destroy the other person. This is the enemy kind of a mood in which a punishment is given. But on the other hand, some punishments are not given with the mood of an enemy, looking with the thinking of the other person as an enemy, but more as a parental, fatherly one, so that the correction happens to that person. So here, Lord Shiva is like that. So he says, "No, please don't take offense." He says, "No, I don't take these demigods seriously from an offense perspective. They are like children." So, but he still gives them punishment. But this punishment is like a father giving punishment to the children, not like a enemy giving a punishment to the enemy. So there, here, the idea is correction. Just like earlier, not here, but elsewhere, like Narada Muni giving punishment to the sons of Kuvera, Nalakubera and Manigriva, right? So they were actually behaving very badly. They were I mean, in spite of Narada Muni, such an elevated person coming, that they disregard his presence and they continue to behave in a very bad way, which is not socially acceptable in front of a senior person. That they were actually taking a swim with naked body with the very damsels, very beautiful heavenly girls. And Narada Muni felt, this is not the right behavior for someone who's supposed to be, very elevated, or rather the cultured family. And this is not going to put them in good trade. So he gave them a punishment that, that you all become trees, that you can stand naked for how much ever years you want to be like that in front of whoever you want. You can stand naked. So this was the punishment given by Narada Muni. Again, when these kind of punishments are not given out of anger, that, oh, you disrespected me, and therefore I will give you a punishment. No, not in that respect, but with an intention to correct the person. And of course, if you see how you may say, so what are you talking here? These are devatas, and how come that these such devatas with such opulence be cursed to become trees? Then what is so great about this benediction? What is benediction here? It is a punishment that they have to stand for thousands of years as a tree, going through all this weather, hot weather, cold weather, and and people troubling the tree in different ways. Have people cutting branches, hammering nails across the tree. So many things are happening. Then how can you say that it's a benediction? But this benediction, as I said, when the enemy gives a benediction, the idea is to destroy the person. But when a parental kind of a punishment, or when a spiritual master gives a punishment, or when a senior devotee gives a punishment, that punishment is actually to help the person become more stronger, become more uh, progressive in their uh, path of devotional service. So here, the punishment given by Narada Muni actually resulted in these two boys getting the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not something which is so ordinary that anybody and everybody can take darshan of the Lord. They could not have ever done it in their many janmas of subsequent lives also, these Manigriva and Nalakuvera. They could not have done it. But by the mercy of Narada Muni's anger, so-called anger, they actually got the benediction. They actually got the darshan of their Lord. And not simply that, they got etched in the pages of Srimad Bhagavat. It's not something which is ordinary. In the Damodar Leela, this section is very nicely elaborated, and people actually read about their fame, these two persons. That is not something which is ordinary. That so many people come, live, and die. Many people make an impression for 100 years, maybe 200 years, maybe 300 years. So many stars have been there. They are there for during their presence, they are world famous. And after their presence, maybe that generation may remember them for something. But after that, nobody bothers or cares. But if you look at the lives of Manigriva and Nalakuvera, they are now discussed even, I don't know, so many thousands of years later. So that is the greatness of Narada Muni's, what do you call, uh, anger, or anger. The anger we are discussing here is the parental kind of an anger. So Lord Shiva is also giving such a what do you call, punishment, that it makes them, it corrects them. So now in this verse, if you really see, then he gives a solution also, how that punishment, whatever they got, how that can be rectified. And after that, the thing about devatas is this, that they see sense immediately. Demons are people. So we are trying to understand a few things in between. So we saw when a punishment of different categories, punishment as an enemy and punishment as a fatherly person or someone who's well-wisher, a caring person for the person who's been punished. Now we are also seeing that the difference between how you take the punishment, and how that also differentiates you between a demon, whether we have a demoniac nature, or uh, we have a what do you call, demigod nature. So when a punishment is given, you could feel that, okay, why did he do this to me? That is all. I don't care anything beyond a point. I just keep on looking at it as that it is negative for me. I do not see the reason why it is given. If there is a genuine reason in that punishment, do I really look at it and say, okay, this punishment was given for this purpose and it is for my correction, and therefore I will take it gracefully and I will be grateful to the person who punished me. But there could be the other kind who will want to continue to be having that mentality. Oh, I don't care. You punish me, and that's what that matters, right? So that one is a demoniac mentality. We have many such examples of all these demons who never reform, who never reform. Whatever punishment comes our way, like we know this case of Surpanaka, like uh, um, Lakshmana, he cut off her nose, but she continued to carry that, what do you call, this enmity all through her life. And when she knew that she cannot, she is putting more and more of her brothers and so many other people to death, but she continues to carry this venom. So did Ravana. So did, you can think of all of these demoniac people, all of them never reformed themselves. They were given many chances to reform, but they only looked at that one offense. They did not look at, not offense, I can say, because this is a parental kind of a punishment. So you should not look at it. You just looked at that event in which you got punished, but you are not looking at anything beyond that. So here, even Daksha, even though he was very negative to Lord Shiva, he did come to this point after his head was cut off, and it was replaced with a goat's head. So it's a very big shame, right? It's such a big shame that now I am such a great scholar, one of the greatest of demigods, and now I have a goat head. Uh, and I think Brigu or someone, he got the beard of a goat, of that goat, whatever. So these kind of things, so they should take offense completely in the sense that, no, like demoniac. But why they are still called a demigod is they understood their mistakes. They repented for their mistakes, and then they came back to the thing. So here, if you see, so after losing the head and got a goat head, he says, this verse says they were satisfied. After Lord Shiva gave them, what do you call, uh, uh, how to work around the punishment. Like for those two, that one of the persons, he lost all his teeth, and it's a very difficult situation. If you have to really enjoy food, then he was told, your disciples can chew, and you can, so when they are chewing the food, you will get satisfied like that. And when no disciples are there, you eat some puffed rice like this. So this is not very, very nice, right? That's a very difficult austerity. But he was satisfied. Like this, even Daksha was satisfied that, after getting a goat's head, if you are satisfied, that shows your repentance and your uh, the ability to surrender. So the ability to surrender to the Supreme Lord and his devotees is important. Then we are a Devata. But if we are continuing to have inimical behavior towards the Lord and his devotees, then that becomes a demoniac nature. So that we are seeing, Daksha is still, he's satisfied. It mentions, right? The verse here, it says, the great sage Maitreya said, dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva. So this is not simply superficial satisfaction. They are satisfied in heart, from the depth of their heart and soul. So this is something which is direct, complete reformation. Many a times we say sorry, but that sorry has no meaning. We uh, continue to make that mistake. Then what is the value of our sorry? But if I say it with heart and soul, I mean it from the heart, they say, which means then I really got it. I will never ever repeat this mistake. So this is the mood. And from this particular words usage here, it is understood that these demigods really repented their mistakes, the Vaishnava aparadha that they committed against Lord Shiva. So that is one of the important things that we are seeing. And let's look at some other aspects of this verse. Mm. And now Prabhupada here mainly talks about the quality of Lord Shiva, and he also gives us one pastime. We can discuss one or two pastimes here of the greatness of Lord Shiva. So Prabhupada says in this verse, Lord Shiva is described as Midustama, the best of the benedictors. And he is also known as Ashutosha, which indicates that he is very quickly satisfied and very quickly angered. So we have been seeing this like similar commentary by Srila Prabhupada in many of the earlier verses also, but this is not a repetition. This is to make us deeply understand. Sometimes we say it 10 times to hammer it into our head, right? So the position of Lord Shiva is such a great personality. He is not one who, like, he's a kind of a gunavatar of Krishna. And initial verses Prabhupada writes that he samoham sarva bhutani, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada actually relates that to Lord Shiva and says Lord Shiva carries that guna of Krishna, and therefore he is such a great personality that he does not take offenses to anything, or he treats everybody equal. Even in the last verse we saw, he says, no, I don't take these offenses by this demigod seriously because they are very immature. Whatever they did, I don't really care. These are all great qualities. Sometimes when we are there, particularly if you are a leader, if you are a preacher, I'm talking more in the context of leadership, can apply very much in our devotional life also. We come across many people, as leaders or as preachers or congregational leaders, you tend to work with many types of people. Like, there will be some people who are very, very sharp, who are very smart, who are always aware of, even if your eye is slightly becoming big, they understand why it is becoming big. Some by your bodily, your what we call body language, many people understand such things, and that's why it is said, right? A disciple, who's a great disciple? A great disciple will act even before the spiritual master says what he thinks. So this is the greatness of but that means they are completely in tune with the spiritual master. They understand even their facial expressions, the words that they use, why they have used it. Therefore, I need to do it like that. They don't have to do it explicitly, tell you everything, but we understand. But there are also people who are very dull. They cannot understand what you are telling. Those kind of people will be there. And then there are people who will be very submissive. They will try to quickly fall in line with what we are saying, and they will do things. There are people who will try to be all over the place. There are people who will try to be like giving a counter to what we are trying to do. So these kind of people are there. Then the leader's mood should be that, okay, there are different types of people, and I cannot be taking offense to them. I need to be very uh, that fatherly figure. That because when we are a preacher, when we are a congregational leader, and also you're supposed to be a what do you call, grown up devotee, right? If, advanced devotee. So how do we take these things and take everybody along with us? Not that, take it in a personal way and try to, then the congregation will get destroyed. It's not easy to build a congregation. It's easy to destroy a congregation. So this is very, very important. Lord Shiva is showing that behavior. No, I don't take them seriously. Yes, they are offended me, but I don't. But at the same time, he also punishes them. See, that is something which we need to understand. Our mode of punishment should be like in the parental mood, not in the thing of, hey, how can you say that to me? I am the big devotee. That mode should not be there. But my mood should be to correct the other devotee, and it should come across in a way that the other person also feels like that. Not that, oh, he is trying to destroy me. No, he's trying to correct me. That mode we should also try to give. So there are so many learnings. These are all can be applied even in our material life, but maybe with a little bit of a adjustment to those things. Sometimes in material life, people take you for granted if you are very soft and if you are very this one. But again, the principles remain, right? The principles remain. Even in modern management science today, people are talking about leadership, not about managership, right? There are two different things. My role is a manager, I will do. But actually, it is not about people who are just managers can become a great organizational person. But he should be a leader, not simply a manager. There's a big difference between a manager and a leader. Manager is simply task oriented, but a leader goes much beyond all of that. So these are all things are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, displayed by great personality of like Lord Shiva. So it's not like, okay, there is something which I read just as a thing, it applies to that situation, but how can I apply it in my normal day-to-day life? So these lessons we can take and we can imbibe, and we can see our growth in spiritual, material, whatever is our desire in that direction, we can apply Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned in the beginning verse chapters, right? That it is applicable to all. Like it's not, it's even though it's for the highest pure devotee in one sense, but it is also, there is one verse which I am not able to quote right now, which says that anyone who's completely into materialistic life, or one who's a beginner, to one who's completely satisfied, who's completely self-realized, who's already in the stage of bhava, for him also it is Bhagavatam is applicable. It's all a question of from which portion, level of consciousness you still can find very good learning from Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is important. Now, but as we take, as devotees, we need to look at these things from Lord Shiva, or for that matter, all these great personalities whose behavior, their pastimes, from that we can pick up a lot of these things. Then it is said, Prabhupada also write, uh, uh, and the other things, this Ashutosha. One is he is a giver of a lot of, quickly he can give benediction, and the great benedictions. And it is also, and particularly, just remember for this time being, it is a lot of material benedictions can be given by Lord Shiva very easily. And he is also very quickly pleased. So that is there. That is why these demoniac persons get so much benefits from Lord Shiva. Because if you are a demon, like if even in our normal life, if you see someone is very bad, you think twice before empowering them, right? You see everywhere, even in be it in material life or anywhere we see, if you have to elevate some person who's very demoniac, you think 10 times, oh, what will happen if I give this person this? he will misuse this, right? That thing is there. But someone who's very nice, who's very having nice, good sattvic character, you always empower them very quickly. But Lord Shiva, actually, even to this demoniac person, he actually gives a lot of benedictions. That means he's easily pleased, even if he's demoniac. But if he pleases Lord Shiva, he says, "Okay, no problem, I will give you." This happens with Lord Shiva's, many of them. The Ravana, right? Ravana was such a demoniac person, but Lord Shiva gave him many benedictions. Like this, there are many, many. We will discuss about one other person also. That very, very dangerous personality. But Lord Shiva didn't look at the danger side of it. He looked at, okay, he's a nice person. He's trying to do some, he's trying to please me, and therefore I will give him that benefit. We will today. Uh, we will also discuss about Vikasura. I just pulled up this, so a little bit about that in course of time. What is time? Okay, we have another 15 minutes. We can discuss that. So there is this kind of demoniac people, but still Lord Shiva is very easily pleased. Ashutosha, we will discuss that. And again, it is said, Prabhupada is writing, it is said in Bhagavad Gita that less intelligent person go to the demigods for material benedictions. So in this connection, people generally go to Lord Shiva, and because he is always quickly satisfied and gives benedictions to his devotees without consideration, he is called Midustama, or the best of the benedictors. Materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profits, but they are not serious about spiritual profits. So this is important. That that's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, many people who are desirous of material enjoyment go to these demigods, various demigods, and they also get the benefits. But he says, but that is not permanent, and it's also a wrong way to go to these demigods. He says these are also given by me also. In two different verses he talks about it's a wrong way, and he says but those benefits are also given by me in another verse. So as devotees we do not look for any material benefits. So that is why we say we don't really worship all these demigods, because we do not want anything from them. Because we can only I mean, if it's not that we are disrespecting the demigods, it is just that what I want, generally there is nothing that they can give. Because I want pure devotional service, right? I means all the Vaishnavas want that. And they are not at all looking for material benefits, but the demigods are empowered to give material benefits. So, but they cannot give you mukti, that liberation, or liberation in Vaishnava terms is not simply merging into Brahman. It is about liberation is from material entanglement. Understanding that I am the body, liberation from that concept, and understanding that Aham Brahmasmi, and I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And my job is to be simply serving the Lord. This understanding is actual liberation. But that is not what we are talking about. That's not something which the demigods cannot give. Demigods can give. So we do not go to them. We give them all respects, but we don't ask what they can give, because that will put us more into trouble. In fact, that we don't even ask the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, that we saw in the story of Dhruva Maharaj, right? He said, okay, after he wanted material benefit, he was asking, oh, my Lord, please, I want to take this kingdom and all. Then when Lord came, he realized, what is this kingdom I'm talking about? So foolish. So he says, I don't want anything, oh Lord, my Lord, I just want to be a pure devotee. He said, no, you had that desire, you enjoy for some time, but of course, you be a perfect devotee and show the people like that. So he sent him as the head of that Dhruva planet, and he lived there for many thousands of years before he went back to Godhead. So even to the Lord can give, he says, right, I am ultimately the giver. So devotees don't even ask anything to the Lord. Why, let alone the demigods? But then Lord Shiva can actually give the highest benediction also. That is the greatness of Lord Shiva. So it is also said, I have heard this many times. Lord Shiva, if you are asking for material benefits, he can give you. But if you don't ask anything, and if you are simply showing love to him, he will give the best of benediction. And this is a very good example what Srila Prabhupada is quoting, that this story of this Brahmana with Sanatana Goswami. So Prabhupada celebrated return, I will go through quickly, the sense that one Brahmana wanted to get the highest benediction. So again, naturally, it did not define exactly what it is, but he wanted the highest benediction. So Lord Shiva then said, okay, then if you want the highest benediction, I will send you to a person who can give you that. So he comes, he says, you go to Sanatana Goswami. So he goes to Sanatana Goswami, and he says, I have been sent by Lord Shiva. I have to be given the best of benedictions. So Sanatana Goswami, naturally when you go to the devotee, they also test what is your, like when we want to take initiation from the spiritual master, there is a gestation period, right? You will be tested. So you need to be under shelter for 6 months time. During that period, logically, we are supposed to, the spiritual master is supposed to scrutinize us. Okay, you may say, hey, where is that scrutinizer? I have never even spoken to my spiritual master before my initiation. But that happens through the empowerment. There are these devotees who are carrying as a representative of the spiritual master. That's why we have Siksha Gurus. So the Siksha Guru is recommending, and based on the words of the Siksha Guru, the temple president is accepting. Temple president's word, Guru Maharaj is accepting, whichever Guru Maharaj is accepting. So therefore, the expectation is the vice versa also, that the Siksha Guru will take care of the devotee. If that spiritual master is not able to directly talk to this person. There are cases where there's a direct monitoring by the spiritual master, but there are also cases where it is not possible like that. But the care is flowing from the spiritual master. The Siksha Guru acts as a representative of the spiritual master in whatever way, only spiritually, right? He gives him the right guidance spiritually. He cares for him. He takes care of whatever, in case there is something going wrong, he corrects him, all that. So, so that way Sanatana Goswami is testing him to see, okay, what he really wants. So he says, okay, you see there is this touchstone which is there, you go and take it. So that, see, these are all understanding. Like that's a little bit of a finer understanding this Brahmana had. He had that Brahmanical quality. When he went and took that and went happily, but then his mind was thinking, why is that lying near that dustbin? That means this Sanatana Goswami is not giving too much importance to that. If this he is saying is the biggest benediction, but he's kept it there, then there has to be some logic that this is not the best. The best is actually somewhere in the locker, not in near the dustbin, right? When you never put your purse near the dustbin. You never put your gold near the dustbin. It is put in a safe locker, and there are so many passwords, so many things like that. But here, how is it that it is so open and it is kept near the dustbin? Then he realizes there's something more bigger than this. I want to go and find that out. So he goes back to Sanatana Goswami and says, Guru Maharaj, what is this? Not Guru Maharaj at the time. He says, Maharaj, what is this? How is it that you have kept this there and you are saying this is the best benediction? There has to be something bigger than this. Please tell me that and give me that. Then Sanatana, now he is passed the test in one way. He says, he puts one more test. He says, therefore, if you really want that best trust and you really trust me, you have to throw this into the Ganges and come. Generally, what will they? No, if I throw this and the next, what he says best is not really best than for me, then this is also gone. This touchstone with which I can turn iron into gold is gone. So people don't do that, right? They think twice. They don't surrender. Here he surrenders to Sanatana Goswami and says, yes, you are saying throw this into the river and come. Here, I will really throw this into the river and come because I trust you to give me the best. That is the relationship between a spiritual master and a disciple, that we should wholeheartedly trust my spiritual master. I cannot doubt him. It is a material vision to say, oh, yeah, no, spiritual master decision is not right. No, Krishna says, I will make his words true. Right? Even assuming materially it is wrong, that, logically, materially it is wrong. But we should not care for that because this is a spiritual world. This is not material world. In spiritual world, anything can happen. There's no logic. in the way we perceive logic. It is just that the pure devotee has said it, it will happen, even if he says something wrong. So we should not be bothered about that. We should simply be ready to follow the words of the spiritual master. So here he threw it and then he came here and then said, yes, Maharaj, you tell me now what I should do. He said, okay, I will give you the best benediction. Here, take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. He gave that, and immediately the person, took up this devotional right without thinking, oh, I thought he will give me something bigger but than this thing, but he has given me some mantra. What should I do with this mantra? Right? He accepted that immediately and become his disciple, and now he can call him Guru Maharaj. So that way, this benediction happened. And who was the instrument in getting this devotee that highest benediction is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva can actually give that also, unlike many devotees, many other demigods who can only give you material benediction. But Lord Shiva does not discriminate much. Like if you ask for something, okay, you give me this, he will give. He will not really see whether it is good, bad, ugly. Yes, he pleased me, I will give you. He's a very soft-hearted person. Yes, chalo, I will give you, don't worry. That mood Lord Shiva has. That once it put him in trouble also. That's why it said, no, he can be quickly pleased, and even if it is sometimes troublesome for in many ways. So there is this example I talked about. What is this devotee's name? Not devotee, this demon's name, Vrikasura. So this Vrikasura was wanting the benediction of uh, whomever he touches, his enemies, they should, her head should burst, something like that. So this is a very dangerous kind of boon to ask. But he wanted to please Lord Shiva. He asked Narada Muni, who is the one who can easily be pleased among the three, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Brahma. Then Narada Muni says, oh, you go to Lord Shiva. He's the one who's Ashutosha, who can quickly give you benefit. So he says, okay, I will go there. And he starts doing penance. 6 days he does, but he is very impatient. In 6 days he wants the benefit. Many of us say, I've been chanting for 1 month, 2 months, I'm not seeing any benefit like this. So he says 6 days I did. He wanted to please the Lord Shiva, that he cut off some of his his own flesh and gave it into the fire, that yajna fire. So he gave it there like that. In 6 days, Lord Shiva has not appeared before him. So you just imagine, 6 days is too much of a time for pleasing Lord Shiva. People generally think, and Lord Shiva gives quickly benedictions, right? So 6 days. So then he says, no, Lord Shiva is still not pleased. I have to do something much bigger. Then he goes and says, I will cut off my head and offer that head in the fire so that Lord Shiva becomes pleased. So he goes and he was about to cut off his head and give. Lord Shiva is pleased. He says, oh, he gave me his flesh. Now he's even ready to give me his own life, like that. And Lord Shiva appeared and says, what do you want? He says, I want to, like whoever's head I touch, their head should burst into, many pieces like that. Lord Shiva, even though he's such a demoniac person, and even though this benediction is not something which is going to be good for anybody, he gives that benediction. Then this rascal, his mood, you see, this also we see in life. Like people, we help someone so much, but people use that help and then they come up and then they actually harm that person himself. We have seen so many times in material life like this. People whom you have used as a ladder, then you kick them off and then walk over them, these kind of things. This is demoniac in nature. So this demon immediately wanted to test that benediction on Lord Shiva only. He wants to touch Lord Shiva to see whether that benediction he gave really works or not. So Lord Shiva realizes a mistake. Oh, I got quickly pleased, and now that is troubling me. So he starts running from all over the place, and this person keeps chasing Lord Shiva. And at some point in time, he goes to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, naturally, he is the greatest of Vaishnava. So naturally, the Lord is always protecting his devotees. So he says, okay, don't worry, I will take care. So he transforms himself into a Brahmana. And then on the way, when this demon is running, he stands there. And then he very intelligently, knowing the psychology of the demons, he says, hey, why are you running? Your body is very important. You seem to be very tired. Demons are very attracted to body, right? And me and mine. and my, what do you call, the pleasure and all those things. So he attacks them from that perspective and attacks him from that perspective and says, why are you running like this? Your body will be taking a lot of beating. Don't do this. I will help you like this. Then he stops there. He says, what is the problem? He says, Lord Shiva did like this. He's running. I want to check on his head, he says. But he says, you think Lord Shiva, you take Lord Shiva seriously? He asks like that. Lord Shiva is a liar. You know, with this Daksha issue, you know that story, this story, whatever happened with Daksha. So this all part of this Leela only. And maybe it will come later. So he says, that he's a liar and he already been cursed by Daksha that he will become a ghost. So do you think he has any of the powers now? It's all, he's a liar. He just cheated you. You try, no? Why don't you put your hand in the head? Nothing will happen. And this demon, carried away by Lord Krishna's, that the way he presents things and how attractive and how trustworthy he spoke, he put his hand on his own head and he died. So this is the, like Lord Shiva, he says, right, he can easily be pleased and he does not, sometimes it may not be very good, but it's easy to please Lord Shiva and get the benediction. But at the same time, Lord Shiva can also give things which can be the highest. That this wonderful example of Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada writes. So I end here. If there are any questions or comments, welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thanks for the nectarian class, Prabhu. So this my question is,
yes, Prabhu.
I see here I'm trying to understand the Lord's administrative role of this entire play. So so you said that Shiksha Guru will recommend and temple president will recommend to like that. In that hierarchy, I'd like to understand this complete narration. Like Lord Brahma put a request to Lord Shiva, give back, revive the don't stop the yajna. Allow them to continue the yajna, give back Dakshas, this one, and then it's a sequence. Pusha, the teeth, and then Brihu, the mustache, like that he requested. And then Lord Shiva also started sanctioning, yes, these all are, as you very nicely put that, like how father is, controlling. It is not a big offense or something. So it is only to transform that mood of, upcoming devotees, like senior devotees correcting a mistakes like that for their own purification. So here, so Lord plays a role here. Even the Brahma also comes under that circle of Maya. Lord also coming under the circle of that impact of Maya. Demigods also coming in the circle of Maya, or are they excluded from out of this?
Okay, so all demigods, including Brahma, they are all, that verse you remember, right? Right from the lower most planetary system up to Brahma Loka. That in Bhagavad Gita it is there. All are places of miseries. Right? What is that verse? I don't remember. Indra Kopa, those words will come. So, including to Brahma Loka, to the Patala Loka, all are places of miseries, means all are material world, all are jivas. Therefore, the consciousness level may vary. Brahma Loka, like they may be having a lot of higher consciousness of devotion and all that. But still, they are materially afflicted. And therefore, you are under the influence of Maya. Maya is all pervading into the entire material universe. There is not even one small place within this material universe which is not covered by the influence of Maya. Therefore, Lord Brahma is also put under that Maya, and that is why he himself personally committed that offense, right? He stole the gopas and the cows from the Lord. So that he was covered by Maya to do such an offense. He takes darshan of Mahavishnu, right? He takes darshan of Vishnu very often, Lord Vishnu very often. But how come that he committed this offense? So that is because he is covered by Maya. That is there. As far as Lord Shiva is concerned, Lord Shiva is not actually a jiva. There are, as I mentioned elsewhere, three categories. Vishnu Tattva, then Jiva Tattva, then in between there is Shiva Tattva. So Shiva is neither the Supreme Lord, nor is he the You see the Jiva Tattva. He is a separate category by himself, Shiva Tattva. But still, he is above the Jivas. So, in one sense, he is not in Maya, but there is a very small iota of independence. Independence as in that, I am, that's what do you call, that thing to lord over material nature. Because he is ultimately the husband of material nature, right? Husband means the Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. He is lording over Uma or, Prakriti. So, in that sense, he has that slight tinge of this thing, and he can also be covered by Maya. That example we have seen there is some cases where Lord Shiva and Krishna actually takes up offense against Lord Krishna. There also he is covered by Maya, because of which he acts like that. But again, Lord Shiva's getting influenced by Maya is minuscule. It's almost zero. But there is a 0.0000001 somewhere. Right? That is why he is not equal to Krishna. He is one step below Krishna, but he is still not equal to Krishna. Therefore, there is a little bit of a tinge of course, he is incarnation of the Lord. For this purpose of material, this one, he is actually associating with what you call material nature. He takes this form of Lord Shiva, but that is in touch with material nature. And therefore, you are also covered by Maya to some extent, but that is minuscule as far as Lord Shiva is concerned. Does it answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. And also he is a Mahatma. Lord Shiva also a Mahatma.
Yes.
And that way we can...
Yeah. See, he is a pure devotee. There is no question about it. That way, all Bhishma Dev, everybody, but they are also Narada Muni, also is covered by Maya at times. So they are all pure devotees. But there are times when they get covered by the influence of the great power of Krishna. But they are not like us getting influenced by Maya. But their covering of by Maya is by the divine direct intervention of Krishna, not like us who are covered not directly by Krishna, but through, like, I can cheat you, I can create Maya over you, you can create Maya over me, right? Like this, I can sugarcoat a lot of things to you and you may get attracted and you may fall prey to me, right? All of our sales and marketing are simply that, like cheating Maya, right? But Lord Shiva and all cannot be cheated like that. But they can be influenced by Lord Shiva's Maya. That is, their consciousness level is much higher. But still, there is an iota of that.
Yes, Prabhu. That hierarchy I could understand.
Yes, Prabhu.
As he also tries to be a gopi. That means he wanted to be a devotee of Shiva. Sorry, Vishnu, Krishna.
Yeah. No, that is there. That is always there. No, where he's always meditating on the form of Krishna.
Yes.
Why is Lord Shiva meditating? Who's he meditating on? If he's the Supreme Personality of God, and there's nothing to meditate upon, right? But he's always meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna.
Yes. So he is in the above platform, you mean to say. Above the Jiva Tattva, Lord Shiva is.
Yes, it is Shiva Tattva.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
He is meditating on Sankarshana, the form of Krishna. That is what Lord Shiva is meditating on.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, devotees, for spending time. And whatever little bit I knew, I shared. Any offenses, forgive me. Hare Krishna. We will end the session here.